Hey y'all, this is Sergeant Dan with Palmetto Edge. So I have a little bit of an update on the Gerber Empower. Well, I say a little bit of an update, a a good update, and I'm hoping that this is where it ends. Okay. So if you haven't seen my review of the Gerber Empower yet, go check it out. I love the knife, absolutely love it. Except it had one real major fatal flaw that developed, and so that flaw was that it wouldn't lock open reliably. Um, I believe I have that issue fixed now. It took me a while to figure out exactly what was going on because um, when it first happened, I played around with the pivot and I couldn't get it better. It would either still not lock open, or it would be so tight that the blade wouldn't open all the way. It would stop about here. It would bind it up so much. So I couldn't find a sweet spot for it. Um, I didn't know what to do. I was starting to get frustrated, starting to get uh, upset over it because, like I said, I really like this knife. I really wanted it to be great, and I just it wasn't getting there. So finally, I made one last ditch effort. I got in there. I cleaned. I oiled. I did all kinds of stuff, and still it was not locking up. It would do like it was doing in that video and just stop right about there and have to it would either stop. I don't think it was really stopping there. It was bouncing. It was hitting so hard that it was bouncing back. Um, and it was especially bad when I would hold it in this orientation. It would do it really bad then, sometimes sideways. Not very much this way, but then, it has to do with the gravity and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I was getting nowhere with it, absolutely nowhere. And I decided one last time, let me give the pivot a shot one last time. And I finally found it. There is this just absolute sweet spot in the pivot that gets it to where um, it will still open good, but it's tight enough to where it's not bouncing back and there's no blade play. That was another reason why I wasn't real sure if it was the pivot or not. I was, thinking to myself, well, if it's the pivot loosening up, then I'd get, worse blade play than what I talked about in the video, and I wasn't. There was no signs whatsoever of the pivot being the issue, other than just the blade bouncing back on itself. You know what I mean? I finally found that sweet spot, and so and I mean it is a sweet spot. If I were to get a Torx on, well, I couldn't do it now. I've got it Loctited in this position now. But if you didn't and you were to get a Torx and tighten it, I mean, if you were to just put pressure on it, it would be enough for it to bind up before fully opening. And if you were to put pressure on it, loosening it up, and I don't mean actually making movement. I'm talking about applying pressure. It would be enough for it to bounce back and not lock open. So, have I got the issue figured out and fixed now? Yes, I believe so, because I have it now. The pivot screw now Loctited in that place to where I get good, reliable deployment every single time. I haven't had one issue with it since. So, have I fixed the issue? Yes. But then on the other hand, I go, well, dang, that was just so much time and effort, and something that I can do here at home. Like I've said, if Gerber is going to claim that this is for military and law enforcement, then they need to get it right. They need to get it right out of the factory. So, I mean, as it sits now, I love it. I can recommend it to you, but with this little caveat, okay? Please, before you plan on doing anything tactical, if you're a military serviceman and you're planning on taking one of these on deployment with you, get it beforehand. Play around with it a lot. Figure out, what it may or may not, what issues may or may not arise, and get them fixed before you go, because the chances of you getting them fixed while you're overseas, while you're deployed, wherever, it's not going to be as easy. Same with my fellow law enforcement officers, okay? If you're planning on getting one of these to carry on duty, play with it at home a lot beforehand so you can figure out if you're going to have issues with it and get those issues fixed, okay? I'm still, I'm happy that I appear to have it fixed, but I'm still not 100% confident in it that it's done, okay? I haven't had any more issues with it, but I still want to keep, playing with it and figure it out. I want to deploy it several hundred more times at home without issue before I go putting it in my pocket at work and, expecting to be able to whip it out and use it good, in a tactical or combat situation or something like that, okay? So, yes, changing my recommendation from the review, yes, I do recommend this knife. I love it. I absolutely love it, especially now that I've got it fixed. It is a great full-size auto. It feels good in hand. It looks cool. It's got cool looks. It's a good, trying to cut myself here. It's, oh man, it's a good steel. It's S30V, made in the USA, good materials. Now, good deployment. Okay, easy use. So I mean, if you're using gloved hands, just super easy to get that blade open. Blade centering, still not perfect. It's still kind of favoring the show side here. I mean, it's not bad by any means, okay? But yeah, so yes, I love it. I highly recommend it, with the caveat, with the stipulation that before you plan on doing anything crazy with it, you play around with it a lot first and figure out the issues. All right? So, guys, thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Instagram. It's at Palmetto Edge. And y'all have a good one.